Welcome back everyone, and I am so excited to unbox this Demi Batista, this is going to be a mouthful, Rainbow Vision Shadow High Costume Ball doll. She is the only one from this line of dolls. Well, that's a lie. I was somewhat interested in the twins, the punk looking twins that were released a while back, but upon closer inspection they had this holographic rainbowy look to all of their clothing, their hair, and it did look cool, but it just kind of did not appeal to my taste. I don't really care for rainbows or holographic stuff like that. Had it been chrome from purple to a different color, it might have been a different story, but I just lost interest in them, with the exception of maybe that one twin with the spiked headband, but that's pretty much just because I want her headband, and I'm not going to spend $60 for that headband. So when they announced these Halloween, because they were meant to be released around Halloween, considering the costume ball theme. When they announced these, I was pretty excited, honestly, because I had just gotten into Monster High again. I was keeping an eye on Reddit and Twitter updates for new doll releases, and a lot of the people who follow Monster High follow Shadow and Rainbow High stuff as well. So that's how I found out about this gorgeous girl. And I was really excited to see her in store. So first of all, this box is amazing. Although I'm not going to keep her in the box. The box itself is really pretty that I kind of want to keep the box, which is something I would never do for what is essentially a toy. Anime figures are one thing, but like this box is just so pretty. Look at it. And I love the artwork of her. So this is considered a special edition, but from what I've read online, Shadow High and Rainbow High tend to release a lot of quote-unquote special editions. I mean, I'm pretty sure those twins are special editions, and they've been in stores for so long. There's really no shortage of them. I like that there's a little handle at the top of the box too. I thought that was really funny. And obviously all of these girls go to high school, so Demi is a film-focused student, which is really cool, which explains her little vampire outfit. Now, one thing that I have noticed with these Demi Batista dolls is that all their bangs are really bad. The design is really cool on the box, but in practice, I guess the type of manufacturer just doesn't know how to create that style, because Monster High did it just fine with Draculaura, but all the Demis had really terrible bangs. On the left side of the box, you can see her little introduction. Demi Batista, trademarked, studies film, and her look celebrates her favorite black and white vampire movies. She thinks the Rainbow Vision, trademark, costume ball can use a little fright before the big night. And again, this box is just completely holographic, but in a good way, it just looks so luxurious. Let your true color shine. And even though it's Shadow High, it does fit the Rainbow High theme. And there's their social media for YouTube. Here you can kind of see her in the box. I tried to find the best one. A lot of them had very smudgy makeup, or the eye makeup itself was crooked. She's a little crooked too. You can kind of tell based on the inner corner pokey bits of her makeup, but she was the best one I could find. If you watched my vlog, this is actually not the one that I ended up buying, because when I got home I noticed she had a chip in two parts of her makeup. She had a chip in the black part on her left eye, and then on her right eye there was like some pink marking, as if the screening of her makeup when it was printed onto her face was not opaque enough, and some of the black bled through the white, and it just looked off. I thought about just painting over it, but I didn't trust my fingers in something so delicate. So I considered just returning her and finding a better one. But my friend actually went with me to find her, this one, and she started looking at her and really, really liked her, so I just gave her my original Demi. I'm gonna have to learn how to mess with doll hair as well, because those bangs are atrocious. But let me get to opening her. There is tape on this side of the box, and then you just lift it up. So she came out really easily, but let's see what happens when I start having to take off all these zip ties. It did come with some type of paper that says, "Stay in the know, be the first to know about amazing new products, compelling promotions, exciting events, and our loyalty programs." And then you fill out all that information. This is an official thing by MGA. Interesting. I've never seen that. Okay, I tried to fix the really bright light on her face, but I didn't want to mess with the colors because I can already tell the colors are not true on the camera. In person, she's very much a more reddish purple, but still purple. Her hair is more reddish, but her dress is quite a good mix of blue and red. On camera, it's a lot bluer, but in person, it's such a rich, beautiful purple that I absolutely love it. Oh, and disclaimer, I am an adult collector. This is not a channel for children. I don't care that I'm opening up a doll. I'm going to review it from the viewpoint of an adult collector, as an adult who spent money on a toy, not necessarily as a parent. I don't have children, and not as a fellow child trying to find a play doll. With that said, she does come with her own base, which is great. Here is the stem part of it. It's glittery. I don't really care for glitter, but I expected it with this, so whatever. I might just paint it black later. And then it is in this nice shade of purple again. Well, actually, in this lighting, it's pretty true to color on camera. I'll have to see once I start editing. Then she also comes with a comb, which is really funny because I have never seen a comb in a doll in a long time. All the Monster High dolls that I've gotten recently only really came with a stand, and then the G3 ones don't even come with that, which is really disappointing. But I love the idea of using my little doll comb to comb her hair because her hair is really long and it looks really full. So let me see. Oh, I still can't pull her out completely. Yeah, this tape they're using is absurdly strong that you might as well not even bother trying to open her carefully because it's just going to rip the box anyway. I've ruined this enough. Let me just cut her out of this. Again, just so the light isn't so harsh on her face and y'all can see her makeup. I might seem a little dark, but oh my goodness. Her hair is absurdly soft. It's even softer than the Monster High dolls. Her hair is a combination of different colored purple streaks. She's got some really, really dark shades of purple and red in there with some lighter shades and a more bluish purple streak here and there. Same with her bangs, although it focuses a lot more on the purpley colors than the red ones. Again, her bangs are atrocious. I'll have to fix that. I don't know how I'm going to, but I will. Her makeup is so pretty though. I don't really care for the white eyelashes, but I might keep them on there just because they are a very unique look. And I don't want to ruin her. Her face is really pretty too. She's fairly pale with a soft blush. Her eyebrows are really funny. I love how they're a gradient with some streaks of that looks like maybe like a plum color. Yeah, if her bangs were all the way flat, they would look really good, but they're not. So again, I'll have to fix that. I don't know, with some gel or something. I'm also probably going to trim them a lot straighter because, and every Demi in the store had this problem. All her bangs were really bad. But yeah. And then she's got this plum lipstick color, really cool. It's really weird too because I saw in videos online of other people opening her and she had a lot pinker lips. So I don't know if it was just the camera that they're using, the camera settings, but yeah, mine looks a lot more closer to the color of her hair, some of these streaks in her hair. And one thing about Rainbow High that really, really attracted me to them when I saw them in store is the fact that they have inset eyes. So they have probably a mold of the head and then there's separate pieces for the eyes. Instead of just being painted on, they're actually like glass or acrylic plastic or something. It looks really cool and three-dimensional. Her eyes are blue, which I thought was an odd choice, but I think that's just because this particular character is just dressing up as Dracula, not necessarily trying to be Dracula. So yeah, they have their own original color when they're not in this outfit. But oh my god, it's so cute. First of all, the doll is really hefty. I'm not really that big of a fan of dolls that have giant heads, but Rainbow High and Shadow High have a nice balance between it. It's a big head, but the body's big and wide enough that it doesn't look really, really off like LOL OMG dolls. Those look so creepy to me. But again, let's go to her outfit. She's got this cute little ruffle of transparent sheer kind of lace. I don't want to say lace. It's more just like a sheer fabric with some trimming on the sides. It looks like a clown ruffle, neck ruffle, with a little black ribbon. And there's stitching on the ribbon too. That's crazy. And then her jacket, or I don't want to call it a jacket. There's no sleeves. But she has this cape piece that has very nice moldable, and by moldable I mean that you can pose it. The fabric has structure to it, so you can move it around and flare it if you'd like. On top, it's this very satiny material. It's super smooth. Oh my gosh, there's embroidery all along the edges. So pretty. It's very silver, and then looks so luxurious and feels luxurious on the inside. Again, we have these stupid rainbows, but on her it's fine. It's not a lot. It's not everywhere. It's got this design on the inside. It looks like bats is what it looks like to me, but it's a type of pattern where they're kind of in different directions and connect to each other. Super cool. And I love her little white blouse sleeves. I think you can take the cape off. Yeah, you can see under her outfit. So I could take the cape off if I wanted to, which also has this, I think it's a faux zipper. I don't think it actually zips, so I'm not going to mess with it. But even though it's a faux zipper, it has the texture of metal, which is really, really cool. I thought that was printed on, but no, it even has a little clasp for the zipper. That's so cool. I forgot to mention she also has these amazing earrings that look like safety pins with, I don't know what that is. It's like a face. Is that like a goddess or something? I'm sure it represents something. There's a theme with it, but it's really cool. And then again, it's a little sheer. Her blouse is pretty sheer, but really nice flow and texture to it. It's all stitched. Her hands are so cute, and I love how it's not like typical doll hands. Her nail, she's got nails, by the way, which is amazing. They're so tiny, but they are painted, and not only are they painted, they're painted with a design. She's got purple nails with like a silver dot decoration on each nail, plus painted on rings, which is crazy. She's even got little dimples in her hands too, which is really cute. The quality on this doll just blows Monster High out of the water, which makes sense. This was a $40 doll. Monster High is like $25, $26. But the size of her, the details in her clothing, the construction of the material, it's just amazing. Here's her amazing thigh-high boots. I did notice that her right one has a lot more creases in it just because of the way it was posed in the box, and it had one of those plastic ties keeping it together and was stretching the fabric. So one definitely looks a lot more worn out than the other, which is a real shame. I hope that doesn't actually affect the construction of the material and it starts breaking down sooner than it should. It's just really noticeable. I wonder if I can message MGA and kind of just ask them if they can give me another boot, because that's just really noticeable. And I've already opened her, so I don't think I could return her back to Walmart if I wanted a different one. So here is again her other nail, which has more rings. I love this little bat wing one that's silver. And again, super cool. The only thing about this that scares me a little is if you manhandle these dolls, will the nails break? Are they fragile? I don't know. This is my first Rainbow High doll, by the way. But yeah, and then this is what really attracted me to her, other than her hair and her like just overall vampire look, is the amazing stitch detailing on her dress. It's so cool. It's black and purple. And then she also has detailing on her bodice portion. Just like, look at that. It's like little silver buttons. And they're not even painted on. They're actual stitch detailing on the trim. Like, that's so cool. Like, amazing. I really appreciate that competition has essentially made it for companies to push so much detail into their what are essentially toy dolls. But yeah, I really, really love her. She's so pretty. Again, the bangs are an issue. I also noticed her hair is pretty thin. I know, gosh, what is it called? It's when you remove a doll's original hair and kind of redo it on your own. Because usually doll makers don't add a lot of doll hair onto your dolls. Like, it looks like she has a full head of hair, which she does have quite a bit of hair. Her ponytails are really thick. But when you actually feel her scalp, the hair there is fairly thin. There's like very noticeable bubbles. And when you try to part it, you can immediately see the top of her plastic head, is what I'm trying to say. It's hard for me to show y'all like this, but I've heard that's also just a major issue with dolls that are intended to have ponytails in the first place. Just the way they have to make this part here in the middle, they usually don't have a lot of hair to make sure the style looks good. I don't really get the logic in that, but that's what I've read online. But once again, her hair is just so soft. I don't know what type it is. I think I've heard saran, which is very popular material to use for doll hair. Either way, it's so sleek, and I'm sure it's easy to wash too. I've been meaning to boil wash my Monster High dolls that I just got, because not only does it remove all these creases caused by these little things in the box and the packaging, it just cleans out any material that they use to style the hair, like gel. I don't feel any gel at all on her hair. It's really, really soft. Maybe that's why her bangs are so terrible. They just avoided the gel. I would actually prefer the gel just to make sure her bangs are nice. But overall, I really, really like her. I think she would have been more worth it as a $30 doll. Oh, I forgot to mention her boots. They have zippers, but they're printed on. However, the detailing has stitching along the side, like it's inset. It's not just smooth all the way around. It has a trim here, and then the printed zipper, and then it has more stitching, and then it keeps going, which is really cool. And again, it has the fake clasp for the zipper, but also some little ruffles on the top of her boots. One thing I forgot to almost touch on is her articulation. So as this being my first Rainbow High doll, I don't know what the length of the articulation is, although I did see some videos that kind of showcased it. So there is a wrist joint, so she can twist her wrists from side to side. There is an elbow joint, to my knowledge, yes. And it can do a 90-degree angle. And I believe it twists too. I don't want to remove her clothing, so I don't know what type of joint they're using, but it feels similar to Monster High. It's very, very, it's also very sturdy. It's not loose or anything. She can also, I think she has a standard doll joint here in the shoulder that just twists around. Oh, and it also comes out. So that seems like Monster High articulation as well. Obviously, the torso joint I think is unique to the new Monster High series, so she does not have a torso joint, but there is a joint in the knee. It's just hard with these boots. I don't think you could really pose her that well and utilize full articulation with the knee with these boots. But something new that I remember reading about is that there is supposedly an ankle joint as well with these dolls, which I thought was really interesting. I've never seen that before. Okay, here we go. So maybe it's just the boot. Let's see. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, interesting. So I can feel that the knee joint is actually a double joint. That's so cool. That's like, if you guys have been here for a long time, you may have seen my review of the SH Figuarts male figure for drawing. That one has a double joint. It allows you to bend the knees a lot farther than usual. So the fact that she can do a pose like this, that's so cool. The Monster High dolls can't do that. It bends pretty far, but eventually the plastic here in the back of the thigh will stop them. But this joint allows it to where there's enough space in between the two pieces of the leg that she can actually bend her leg really far. So that's really cool. I was not expecting that. So yeah, overall, I'm just really impressed. And then I don't want to remove her boot. Or should I remove her boot? I'm scared that it's going to take a lot of effort to put back, so I don't want to remove it. But that's something I've heard, that there's an ankle joint here, which I think is interesting because a lot of these dolls, from what I'm seeing, have high heels. So the point of an ankle joint is a little weird to me because, well, I mean, what are you going to do with that? I can't really move her ankle in this boot, and I'm scared to try. But that's what I have heard, that there is an ankle joint. I can kind of feel some type of something, but I don't know. And then I just put her on her base because I got really excited to put her on my shelf, but I forgot to also check for head articulation, and it's what I expected. She can twist her head side to side. It doesn't seem like there's really articulation to go up and down, so it's just side to side posing, which with a head this big, I'm perfectly fine with. And, you know, she has a lot going on in her collar area, so even if she did have neck articulation, it probably wouldn't work that well. Maybe if you want to push her head back. Oh, it kind of does work. She has some, oops, she has some articulation in the neck, but just not a lot. So the stand looks like a little circular stage platform. So one thing I will say is that her cape makes it a little hard to put her on our stand, so I'll have to mess with that later, just to make sure she's not falling. She is quite top heavy considering how much hair she has and just the shape of her head compared to her body. So the stands are pretty much essential in my opinion. I'm glad that they're included. The only other thing that I will bother to mention, as far as criticism for this doll, is the fact that there's so much shadow high branding all over the doll. I get it, they were probably trying to keep them consistent, but I personally don't like it. So what I'm probably going to do is just replace all of the shadow high motifs in her outfit, such as the belt. The earrings can probably stay because I can't really mess with the plastic, but the S and H in her little pigtail bows, which I forgot to mention, but they're really cute. They're made of pretty thin fabric, but they're a nice texture, like faux leather, and they have the little batwing shape. But yes, I'm probably going to figure out how to remove these. Hopefully they're easy to remove, and then I'll just add my own, I don't know, maybe sculpt a batwing or something on there just to remove the association with the shadow high thing. But that pretty much covers it. I hope you enjoyed. Do let me know what you think of these dolls. They're pretty cool. This is probably going to be the only shadow high doll that I ever buy, unless they make something close to her that has colors that I really like. It really helped that she was purple. One thing I did forget to mention actually is this card that came with her, which I believe links you to the series related to this particular doll line. I've heard it's not very good, but if you're interested, here is the QR code that will link you directly to it. And I appreciate that it's also holographic, and it's really sturdy cardstock. I mean, I would have preferred a character card, to be quite honest, but you know, trying to get their online series to be popular, so I don't blame them for that. Again, I really think she could have been cheaper, but considering the construction of her clothing, this is my first impression of this doll line, so I think she was worth it. Very much worth my money, because I really do like her. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.